my dear Pisces, this is your love and spirituality reading for the month of August 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. I read for the signs in the order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. You can see the order I read in this time around at the community section of my channel. The reading can go both ways, so if I tell you that you are feeling or acting in a certain way, it can be in the reverse, that the person you are dealing with is feeling and acting in that way. The energy is the same, it's just different castings to the different roles by the universe. For this reading, I will use the Druidcraft Tarot by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gomm, illustrated by Will Worthington, and I will start shuffling your cards. So, when I open your deck here, Pisces, I see the Hermit together with the Wheel. So the Hermit together with the Wheel, it means that you are going through some profound spiritual awakening. Probably with the Hermit here, it's also connected to the Moon card, and the Wheel is to Magician. You are supposed to learn something from this situation, and it might be like some kind of repetition, something circling again and again in your life. It might be past life memories, karmas, traumas that wants to come through here, and you need to put attention to wherever it hurts or whatever situation that requires your attention, and to not avoid this, whatever is coming, even if it's difficult, because this is a new chance to actually solve and resolve this. Okay. So, I call the Divine with love and light. And here we have the Feral together with the Wheel. So, the Feral is about taking in your opposite side. So, it might be talking about your shadow, about things that you have repressed in your life. And as you see, it comes only in major arcana cards. So, it means that it's big things that's moving in your life right now, Pisces, and it's there for a good reason, for healing, but it might be overwhelming sometimes with this much divine interference in your life. The Ferret is a card about love as well. It's about finding being attracted by a person that holds the key to your shadow, and therefore getting to know yourself more through the other person. And it also seems like there's some kind of karma involved in this situation, or destiny, like the web of creation is pulling closer together for Pisces here. So I called for archangels in the four corners of the world. And we have King of Wands here, that's Leo, together with the Five of Wands and the Wheel. So the Five of Wands is closely related to the Alchemist card. It's when you meet someone that's totally not like you, like a fire person instead of a water person, passion and determination, creation, and meeting up with this energy. And it's like two cultures clashing together. But when you're done with each other, when the battle is done, you have learned so much from each other and also became more like each other. So it's like first you were this one entity, and you met this other entity, and you were 100% like this in this way, like your own personality, and this other person was 100% their own personality. But after you have clashed together, you now share music taste, taste in food, maybe movies, values. So you have fertilized each other and maybe become like you're still 100% you, but you also added like a lot from this other person or this other culture, so you learned from them, and this is fertilizing you. So it's very beautiful. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a touch of allergic reactions. Usually comes when I'm a little bit stressed. I shouldn't be stressed today, but it's like over 30 degrees Celsius here in my chamber today. So I call the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Pisces viewers. So I want my dear Pisces to have love in their lives and also find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on the highest path, on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So just tune in to you and your energy for a few seconds. I actually did a Pisces reading before this, but I sneezed so much, so I had to just restart the whole thing. But what came up for you then was Five of Pentacles, the Moon, Seven of Cups, showing that you were about to heal some old karmic pain or ancestral karma. So if you feel like, so this with my my sneezing now was probably called up because of this, because I also have these kind of ancestral or karmic or past life traumas that I need to deal with. So and it's probably the same for you going on in your life, that it might you might have different minor health issues that actually are mirroring real severe health issues that might have cost you your life in past lifetimes. And now you just need to, you know, give it attention, stay with it, digest it, and it will be gone from your system. It's like you're a big, it's like you're a black hole that's seeking in out all this. It's like being drawn in. Your grandmother's pain, your grandfather's pain, your mother's, father's, siblings, everyone's pain. You're taking it into your body and shooting it out as light. You just need to give it attention and feel it, and you can journal a little bit about it also. You can see my Q&A dealing with pain, how to deal with this. Because, for example, if you have had you have lost your leg in an earlier lifetime, now you might fall and scrape your leg, and you will feel the shock like the leg is lost, but it's not lost, so you feel like you're overreacting, or that you are like sissy, or feeling too much pain, being too sensitive. But it's not this. It's actually you're going through something. It's just coming like a little reminder with a little bruise. But sometimes we can be born with these kind of bruises also as birthmarks and things like this, that shows us where we have been hurt in another lifetime. But what you need to do now is just to stay with it and be with it and digest it. Okay, so now I'm going to tune in. So this is your future, Pisces, going into August, or second part of August or September. And this is August, and this is the past. So this will be like July or your whole life. It depends. And here we have the wheel. So it seems like this with the karmic thing might have hit you already in the earlier part or mid part of the summer. So with the wheel, it's something repeating in your life, coming back over and over again until it's healed. It's like a rope with a knot on, like someone has tied a knot. And every time you are with this, at this point, something similar will happen as it did before. So you might have many different circles like this in your life. But this will be something that has to do with emotional, physical pain. Usually it might also be patterns in relationship, but mostly it will be patterns when it comes to you and your family and ancestral lines. So the wheel, but it's also that you don't have so much control over this. It's like the planets is moving relentlessly, and the only thing you need to do is to digest the energy. You can't really change the patterns, so the planet will not move there and not open up the gates to this past life trauma. It will happen either you want it or not. And here we have the Seven of Pentacles instead of the Seven of Cups that I was talking about. So Seven of Pentacles is about patience and letting things grow in its own accord, and not stressing out and wanting things to be in another way, but kind of just accepting what is, and also accepting your body's limitation, which I probably would have listened to right now, but I wanted to do this Pisces reading right now when my body probably said no. But it's good illustration for this, what Pisces is going to go through. So I'm going through it together with you. And also when you go through something this and put attention to it, you are healing not only yourself but also your surrounding. It's like you're a big vacuum cleaner going around cleaning the space. So Me having this reaction is actually also helping the people in my surrounding to sort out their things. If I stay with it, if I reject it, it won't have that effect, of course. So there's some kind of harvest also going on here. This is mistletoe, preparing for this. It's Yule, Christmas, it's the midwinter solstice, when you want to call back the light, you want to call back the sun, you want to call back spring. So you take in different type of evergreen plants and trees and everything into your house to show that you want to have life back. So it's like a waiting, but it is sacred waiting. And when you do this waiting, you're also going through this different, it's like almost religious, traditional things. So you might be wanting to do ceremonies for healing, or ceremonies for, calling in your soulmate, or envisioning your future, or whatever you want the spring to contain here. Rituals. What's the word I think I was looking for? And here we have the Three of Wands. So eventually spring will come into your life. Three of Wands is when you have decided upon what you want, and the spirit can then bring it to you. If you are one day you want this, and the next day you don't want this anymore because it wasn't a fun day at work, or your boyfriend was a douche or something, so you decide, no, I don't want them today, and the next day you want them again, and then you don't want them. So that's very hard for universe then to follow the flickering light of your wishes and give this what you want. So you need to be steady on what you want and kind of not flinch, not second guess yourself. It's about pointing with your whole hand in one direction. So Three of Wands. So, and here in your past, we have a Prince of Wands. So Prince of Wands is usually Sagittarius, might be a Leo or Aries as well, or just this energy of fire. In this case, it's like spiritual growth. It's about wanting something, having a passionate longing for something. It's like you want it now. It's some go-getter attitude. Sometimes the Prince of Wands has a short attention span. He just writes like this all the time, so he doesn't have time to make a stop and really dig his hands into something and really create something. So it can be a very fast-moving energy in your life, but we'll see where it goes. It's probably this with the spring. It's something you long for. It's something you want, that you're very passionate about. So it's where your soul wants to aim its energy. So it's usually we have not so much control over this either. We might wish that we would long for this, but really we long for this. So that's where the split also comes. That makes it very hard for you to create the things in your life that your soul wants, because your rational self might want to create something else that's not supposed to be there, because it's just something that you have decided with your human mind. But the divine or universe has another plan for you, another destiny for you, and you don't want that because maybe you are more rational. So next card here is the High Priestess. So High Priestess is communicating here with the moon, and the moon is communicating with the waters inside of her, so pulling her waters, pulling in her emotions. And this is what's happening when we are in connection with the divine. It's also what's happening when we listen to our intuition. So here you have the longing, listening to the intuition, communicating with the divine. So there's something going on here that might be, as we saw, a little bit painful for you, but it's actually a very good thing. And as long as you're working with the energy, it's not going to be traumatic. It's actually going to be very healing and very helpful. On the outside, this might be a person that seems to be a little bit self-preoccupied, like a person that is a little bit my way or the highway, and there's no reason to, it's no talking to this person because they are set on something, and it's they are not going to change their mind that easily. So from an outside perspective, it can be a person that's very unreachable, but they are doing this, and it's this is Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. So it's something that they need to go through. So they need to be a little bit selfish. So you might be needing to be a little bit selfish here. The next card is Queen of Pentacles. So Queen of Pentacles is very earthy energy, stable, rational, calm, nurturing. She is nature, like basics for the economy. And here she is like a very good energy to have if you want to call in something, if you want to create something in your life. So Prince of Wands, the High Priestess, and Queen of Pentacles is actually making a rather interesting energy together. Is this longing and also the connection, so you can get wisdom and, you know, direction. And then you also have the stamina, the calmness, the maturity to actually see this to its full growth. So it's someone being rather like having these childhood hopes and dreams and the little bit whimsical communication with the divine, but then also being very grown up and rational about this. So it's very stable. It looks very stable. It might be that you are learning something new, and that you are learning this new thing through you don't know how to take the next step in your teaching, but it just comes naturally. It feels like it comes very naturally, so you don't have to stress this or try to, you know, figure anything out. You just need to go with the flow here, and you will get the thing that you need, the thing that you are searching for. And the wheel, so it's not you at the steering wheel, it's the nature, it's cycles, it's how the planet is moving and opening different doors to you that you can walk through. And it wouldn't be happening in any time. It's happening in this time, this destined, very important time. So things are being stirred in a certain direction, and you are being able to just follow along in the process. So not at the steering wheel, but you're going with the will of the divine, and just the next sign, the next sign, the next thing. You just follow, like the pages is opening up for you, next page, and you just follow along with it. And you're learning like tremendously many things in this process. And it's like a growing flower, and it has its roots maybe in something that's almost like a stress reaction, like a person feeling an intense anxiety or an intense longing towards something. But what's coming out, it's a calmness and a certainty that's much more healthy. So more patience and more like of this I don't mind what happens kind of energy, like non-resistance. Because everything you resist persists, and if you have a lot of get it now ideas, you will only be anxious. But in the end, it seems like you are being able to tie together the longing together with the actual communication with the divine and the actual creation. So if we both dream but also take action, that's less time for being anxious and wanting things now. And we know here there's going to be like winter for a little bit more. It's not winter for real in Sweden anyway. On the southern hemisphere, it's of course winter now. But here it's preparing for something, spring, okay? And this Sagittarius energy is much spring. It's like sunlight coming, light coming in, knowledge coming in, new ideas coming in. So it's very spring-like. And here we have a Six of Wands. So Six of Wands, it's Jupiter in Leo. So this is like a person on a mission. A person on a mission, like their life mission. Something that they are supposed to do with this lifetime. And it seems very victorious, and it's kind of a win-win situation. For some of you, you might need to, if you're dealing with a partner that seems like they're all about them and craving a lot of attention, you need to be a little bit careful, because sometimes with this energy it will be a person that wants something for themselves, but they haven't really thought everything through and the consequences for everyone involved, so they might act in a selfish way. But it's still for a good reason. They don't have the experience just yet to understand the full consequences of their actions. So it might be like a play kind of person, or someone coming with an offer, but maybe it's mostly for their own gain. It's just a little bit immature. It's not really, it's not bad intentions. It's just that maybe they don't have, they have the real tools to see this the whole way through, or the stamina to see this the whole way through. As long as it's happy and nice and consensus and people are working together, then it's fine. But as soon as it's a little bit glitch, maybe the person will fall through and forget all about their promises. So it's not a dangerous energy. It's just a little bit, when it comes this energy, it's not always that wise. It might be like too full of themselves, okay? Think too much of their own ability. And here we have a Princess of Wands as well. So I'm thinking there's going to come through some message for you, maybe a divine message. Both of these cards are talking about messages, and the wands are pointing upwards towards the sky. And the Princess of Wands, she is like the messenger of God, with this hot longing, sometimes after love or some dream or social situations. So it might be a person, very charming person, that's have taken up a lot of your thoughts, or a person thinking a lot about you, and wants to reach out to you and maybe create something together with you, a new project. Princess of Wands together with the Empress, here we have instead a High Priestess, is pregnancy, but here it's more like a spiritual pregnancy, something spiritual that's happening, where people are growing into something that they were not before. So it's some kind of evolution going on. So we can't expect people to be fully grown until they have gone through this evolution. So we need to be a little bit careful with what kind of energy we are inviting in our lives. But here we have also the Prince of Cups, so that's you, Pisces. But it might be another person in your life coming and offering you connections, commitments, with the Queen of Pentacles in the like above, but also love, forgiveness, communication. It's someone being open and ready for love, or wanting to have more happiness in their lives, more adventure, more gatherings, more social occasions. Princess of Cups is very dreamy. It's not always like really thought things through, but we have the Queen of Pentacles above here, so it kind of talks about commitment, long-lasting projects. So I think the intention is very, very beautiful in this situation. It's just that as soon as danger comes, maybe the rabbit will be like on their way. Princes here, knights, they are very hasty energies, and they can be like running in different directions at different points of time. You can't really trust them to be there forever. But it's beautiful. It seems like someone has really gone through some spiritual metamorphosis, growing up, or maybe they are wanting to. It's like a person wants to grow up to be able to fit to something. So being grown up enough to be able to do this job, or being experienced enough to have a relationship with this lover that's a little bit older maybe, or it can be different things like this, where we feel that we grow really fast to fit to a situation. Maybe we want more out of life, so we decide that we will put in more energy and to really make things happen at this time. And it might be that what I saw in the first reading, that when you actually have been able to process these old karmas, this is the energy that you will let loose. It's very new, it's very fresh, it's very hopeful, but it needs to come together with some kind of wisdom as well, so that we don't promise people the world and then forget about following through with the knights here. Okay, and this is the future, and here we have the lady. So I told you that Princess of Wands means sometimes pregnancy. It doesn't have to be actual pregnancy. It can be like a new project or something being born into this world. Might be this new spiritual energy also coming in, and of course that can be a baby. But you have a Queen of Pentacles and the Lady. Both of these are kind of earth person, Taurus, Virgo, and they are like cousins here. And it comes with the Princess of Wands in the between, so it's like two pregnant mothers maybe. So it's really talking about this natural ability to grow and to become older and wiser and more mature, more responsible. So it might be something like an idea, an inspiration that has grown into a whole company, for example. Something that was just a sparkling idea, something that you downloaded from the universe, just like an interesting thought. And then people are gathering together and you are sending out messages, and people with equal dreams are coming together, and then you are building this very solid thing here. So it might be things like this, like right-minded, like the like-minded people coming together and building something that they all want, and they have like a very positive attitude to this. But it's also a little bit dreamy, so people might be very positive but forget about the obstacles that might come. And we need to be ready for those as well, so we don't back away as soon as there comes trouble. But instead of trouble, we see the World card here. So the World card, it's 21, 2 plus 1 is 3, and we have the Lady. This is the portal, it's the stargate to which we are coming and leaving this earth. And the female is of course the stargate. So something is definitely being born here, and it's definitely something that's on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So you're meeting your destiny here, Pisces. And I remember your previous reading, and also the thing I started doing here before I sneezed myself half to death, was that first you probably need to, like in July, probably you need to go through past life karmas and traumas to and what you're finding there in the shadows is this inspiration. So a new idea, something that people might never have seen before, like something that's out of this world, or for the first time seeing the light in this world. So, and Pisces, you are coming from a part of the universe that was more unconditional loving, or a dimension where there were more unconditional love. And here it coming a lot of this Earth Mother love through here. So it seems like whatever you are creating, it's being created out of love and out of and it's definitely your destiny. Okay, so your destiny is coming here in August. Then we have also the Hangman. So the Hangman is 12, 21, 3. They are all adding up to the same number, 3, the Holy Trinity. And this is like a pregnancy, and it's much like this 7 of Pentacles card. We are waiting for something wonderful to happen. But we need to sacrifice time, because it's need to go through divine timing. We can't be pregnant one day and then give birth to a baby the next day. It needs to take, for human beings, 9 months before this can happen. It comes underneath the Queen of Pentacles and the Pisces, and this is Uranus energy with the Hangman. Uranus, Neptune, and Neptune is your planet Pisces. So there's something coming down here, very earthy, very motherly, very loving, that's coming down to earth through you. And as I said, it might be an idea, like an idea for a company, but it might also be a spiritual idea, or it can even be a start of a new religion, or it's definitely evolution anyway. So it can be a new spiritual idea as well, something that's that you came here to do. So it's very interesting. And here you have also 3. So 3 means open, ready, giving birth. It's the Empress number, 3, 3, 3, 3. So it's a Holy Trinity as well. The child, the witch, and the warrior. When these parts of you is like working together, miracles will happen. So I will read the Prince of Wands for you. Princess of Wands. Princess of Wands. Prince of Wands. Princess of Wands. It's the center card of the reading, so it's the energy that influences all the other energies. So, the Princess of Wands is likely to be a lively, playful person who is eager to experience life and to try out new things. She loves life and is a loyal friend and lover, and often exhibits a burning desire to achieve. Her enthusiasm is infectious, but she may sometimes act theatrically or selfishly, using either people or circumstances or both to achieve her own ends. If you have drawn this card, it can either refer to a part of you which is outgoing and full of life, or someone you know or will know in the future whose dynamic enthusiasm will inspire you to get involved in creative projects. When not signifying a person, this card may represent an initial spark of interest in a project or a relationship, or it can indicate a message or communication, particularly one conveying news about the beginning of a venture. It may also indicate a general quickening of the pace of life, a new pace or activity just starting. So after all this waiting, but more waiting will come. So it's going to be exhilarating moments of a lot of things happening, and then things needs to be born in in the right time. Okay. So I will also take a Sacred Rebels Oracle card for you, Pisces. So see what's going on. Pisces for August. Wow. Yes, definitely new ideas. And all these buttons. Going beyond normal. So it's almost like you're a Saint Pisces here. Coming with fulfilling your destiny on earth. With this marvelous, almost otherworldly energy that you are downloading here to earth. So it seems very, very spiritual. 14, it's also the Alchemist card that we saw connected to this number, and also 5, the High Priest or Hierophant. Going beyond normal. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream, or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a easier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. You could say that the choice is about balance. It is less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or architecture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you can enhance rather than hinder your life journey. And it's when it comes to love here, I'm thinking you might be very courted, or you might court someone, and that will probably lead to a great love, but that needs its time to, grow into full bloom. Yes, placing science or architecture above all skills kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust, so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly accordingly to plan. Because with the Hangman, 7 of Pentacles, the Wheel, things will probably not go so much accordingly to plan. 3 of Wands is showing that you are on board, you have decided what you want, but in the way things are going to come to you, you can't dictate. It's going to come in the way that, in mysterious ways, we can say. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. So, The flowing inspirational energy of the heart may have no convincible basis in logic or reason and still be uncannily accurate. To remain rebellious, we must not sacrifice the art of emotion, instinct, passion, and intuition for the science of logic and strictly planning. On the other hand, gardening and art do provide us with a plan, albeit more loosely held. This plan still requires us to set aside time, to draw upon reliable methods, and to prepare with certain tools. However, there is also a healthy dose of organic flow, responsiveness, and trust in the creative process of bringing something to life. This leads to the cultivation of the most beautiful, abundant, and successful garden and the most vivid healing art. You are being asked to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life, your work, your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to the method of a gardener or an artist. There is a sense of what might work where what might work where and a loose or even detailed plan, but how the plan is carried out will depend on a response to the flow of its surroundings. There is no need to control the situation, but rather a desire to nurture an idea to fruition. So keep on to the idea, but don't bother so much how things will happen. It seems like the divine is very much a part of this show, so you can rely on universal forces to create miracles for you. You may have pressures around you from the world or from your own conditioned nature to do things according to the rules, to a deadline, to the accepted mainstream view that you need a well thought out plan for success in commercial venture. However, sometimes the best plan is to do what feels intuitively truthful in the moment and trust that you are being led towards your own growth. Adopting this approach means you have to do far less planning and far more living. It is a pure and heart-centered way to manifest your art, your life path, and your essence into practical expression in the world. It involves a willingness to be led by nature instead of trying to control the powerful force of life, which is a bit like trying to fit a proverbial ocean in a teacup. It is far more intelligent to allow the ocean to be the ocean and to learn to swim in it rather than trying to cram it into a vessel that is much too small. This oracle brings you a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You are living on the border of what is socially accepted. This is good. This is fringe dwelling freedom. Others might not see this about you straight away, as you seem pretty normal, but the secret eccentric streaks is just waiting to show itself. And maybe you are out and proud fringe dweller, completely comfortable with this way of being. Either way, this oracle brings you a message that you now have a chance to live from the heart more deeply and expressively than ever before. It wants you to realize that this is a legitimate, empowered, and creative way to live that honors all of who you are. You can give up forcing or squishing yourself down into a very limited sets of so-called desirable qualities like intellect and control. Healing process. I now call on unconditional love and ask for the blessing of the heart to be witnessed and sanctioned by the great universal creator so that I might rise above small-mindedness and use the best of what human culture has to offer in service to love. Through my own free will, so be it. Okay, so my dear Pisces, I hope this helped, and it seems very interesting, this what you are about to do. We can see this also with this downloading of your highest part. So you're really on a distant part of your journey right now, and I'm thinking there's no backing down. Okay, you just need to go with the flow here, and it will probably lead you to very fertile, prosperous grounds. Okay, so you will find your place in the world and find out probably why you came. So this is a very beautiful reading, and I want to invite you to my webpage, www.queenofcupstarot.se. I also want to welcome you back to my mid-month reading that I will perform, mid-month August reading that I will perform in the beginning of August. So I also want to wish you a beautiful summer. Take really good care of this idea, whatever it is, big or small, in love or affairs or spiritual growth. It can be in very various sections of your life, and find this seed and nurture it together with the divine, and you will be kind of unbeatable, I think. This is very beautiful. Okay, so take really, really good care, and bye-bye.